Hi everyone, if you want to be buying the best cars in the game, you're going to need credits. Now of course, if you're not yet collector level 50, if you haven't sunk 100 hours into the game, the options available to you are quite limited through things like circuit experience and a few of the grind races once you've unlocked them. So this video is going to be a comprehensive guide, up to date, on the Tokyo 600 grind with the lowest expenditure and the lowest amount of effort for the lowest collector level. Here's everything you need to do to get set up. First of all, and this is the hard bit, we need to have completed menu book number 39. This is the original 39 menu books that were in the game before it had expansions and updates. So this requires completing everything up to and including the GT World Championship. This may sound daunting if you are a new player, but trust me, in the cosmic timescale of Gran Turismo progression, this isn't too much of a big deal, and it's well worth turn the difficulty down, do a few circuit experiences to earn some credits, upgrade some cars, and just smash through it as quick as you can. Once you've cleared menu book 39, this will unlock the Tokyo Expressway World Touring Car 600 event. This has a payout of 550,000 credits, the highest in the game, plus with the clean race bonus this will actually earn you over 800,000 credits. Now we just need to build the car that will allow us to complete this race with the lowest amount of effort and in the shortest amount of time. So the total cost for this build is going to be 256,270 credits. So make sure that you've got that in your bank before we start. The car we need to get is, as you see here, the Nissan GT-R 17, which is available from Brand Central right from the get-go. So you can do this starting at any level as long as you've got the Tokyo 600 race unlocked. The price of the car is 94,000 credits, so go ahead and pick that up, and then we're going to go to the tuning shop to buy the extras. I've listed all of these parts in the description below the video, or of course you can pause as we go through if you need to, but here's what we need to get to upgrade the car. From the Sports tab, we need the weight reduction stage 1 and the comfort hard tyres. Sports hard is what the car comes with, but we won't be using those. From the Club Sports tab, we need to get bore up, the high lift camshaft and weight reduction stage 2. From the semi-racing tab, we need the racing crankshaft and the fully customizable computer. From the Racing tab, we need to buy Stroke Up, Engine Balance Tuning, Polished Ports, Anti-Lag System, Racing Intercooler, Racing Air Filter, Racing Silencer, the Racing Exhaust Manifold, Racing Brake Pads, and the Racing Clutch and Flywheel. From the Extreme tab, we just need to get the intermediate tyres. In your car settings, create yourself a fresh settings sheet. I've named this one Tokyo, for example. This way I can go back to the standard version of the car if I need to. I've put a list of all of these car settings in the description below the video if that's easier for you, or indeed now would be a good time to pause, take a screenshot, anything you need to do so that you can copy these settings 100%. Set your tyres as comfort hard on the front and racing intermediate on the back. We don't need to change anything with the suspension. Make sure that your ECU is set as fully customizable and there's nothing to change in terms of gear ratios or transmission. Make sure that you've got all of your racing elements installed on the car, and you can double check on the bottom right that you have purchased all of the correct tuning parts as well. When you measure this should give you a PP of 577. Now of course this isn't quite as close to that 600 limit that the race permits, but I found that you can make it quicker with the high RPM turbocharger. However, this will use more fuel and require you to make an extra pit stop rather than the single pit stop that we're going to do with this build. Once you've got your car ready, it's time to go and set up the race. In your assist settings menu, make sure that your transmission is set to automatic. Traction control doesn't really make a difference, neither does ABS or anything else, but I would suggest turning on the braking indicator and the braking area, because that will just help for some reminders for the tricky last corner on the track, which could potentially prevent you from getting the clean race bonus. Once you've got all that set up, we are ready to go. As soon as the race begins, make sure your fuel mix is on maximum power, and then we want to overtake all of these cars before we get to the first corner. It doesn't matter if we scrape the walls at this point, but we cannot touch any other cars. That is one of the key criteria for getting the clean race bonus at the end of the race. You should easily be able to overtake all of the cars before you approach the first corner, and once you do get to this first corner, hang to the left and simply grind around the outside of the bend. We're going to be repeating this for the full duration of the lap, with the exception of the very last corner, which is the one tricky bit that can cost you that clean race bonus if you're not paying attention. That's why we've got the braking indicator to show up on the track surface itself, just to act as a bit of a reminder. You'll see that there's a few knocks against the wall as we go through. That's not the end of the world, and it will happen, particularly on the tight turns, such as this one here. But you'll only lose a couple of seconds a lap at the most if you have any bad crashes. But of course, the smoother you can make it, the lower your lap times will be, and it will make a difference of potentially 30 to 45 seconds on the overall race time once you finish the race, which should take somewhere between 25 and 27 minutes with this build and one pit stop. This is now the crucial part of the lap. As you approach this very tight hairpin at the end of the lap, keep an eye for the sign above you, and you want to brake about here to make sure that you slow all the way down, because you cannot go outside of track limits on this corner. There's a white line on the outside and on the inside by the curb. Slow the car down to an absolute crawl. Whatever you need to do, do not go over that line, otherwise it will cost you the clean race bonus. As you exit this last turn for starting the second lap, here is where you will need to turn your fuel mix down to the minimum. We need to make sure that we can get to the end of lap 6 halfway through the race, so that we can perform just the single pit stop and then allow ourselves to make it through to the end of the race without having to stop again. Repeat the grind for the next few laps until we get to the end of lap 6. When you come in for the pit stop, there's no need to change the tyres, because the intermediate tyres will wear out so fast there's no point changing it. But when you do come in, make sure that you select no to changing tyres, and then just allow the car to refuel right up to the maximum. If you've been efficient, you might not need to go to 100%, but for how much time it saves, it's well worth just top it up just in case, because you might find you have to do a slow last couple of laps if you find yourselves in traffic. I find that this particular build allows you to avoid as much traffic as possible throughout the course of the race, but as you'll see in a moment, we will come up against some traffic towards the end of the race. Again, make sure that your fuel mix is still set on the leanest setting, at least for now. Around about lap 10, you'll start to encounter lapped traffic. Be very careful here. Make sure that you don't do anything too risky. You don't want to be hitting any cars after having committed so much time to the race so far. If you do need to slow down, or indeed let them past you, because they can sometimes catch you up on the middle section of the track, it's well worth just doing whatever you need to do to give them a wide berth. As you begin lap 11, now's a good time for you to have a quick check on your fuel mix. If you've got some fuel spare, feel free to turn your fuel mix up to, of course, reduce your lap times until the end of the race. As you can see here on the last lap, I did encounter more traffic at a rather inconvenient time. So at this point, the smart thing to do is to just slow down. Any cars that are around you, just let them get past you, let them get out of your way, so that you don't lose that clean race bonus at the end. Continue on to complete the race with this easy victory. If you've managed to avoid all of the cars and you haven't exceeded track limits on the last hairpin, you'll earn the clean race bonus, which should net you 825,000 credits for the 26-minute race. You can repeat this as many times as you need to, buy as many cars as you can, increase your collector level up to level 50, and once you reach that level, then you can look at doing the Daytona AFK grind, for which there is a video guide linked in the playlist in the description below this video. So that's that for today. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you on another video. Bye for now.